Okay, we're gonna go through the steps on how to do Audacity, how to do sermon.net, and go in the right order. So let's pretend that it's Sunday morning and I'm doing this on my home computer, so everything's gonna be exactly the same. Just keep that in mind. But let's pretend it's Sunday morning and you got to the computer two, which is the one closest to the soundboard, and you need to get sermon.net loaded up to do the live stream. So you will go to your browser and you're going to go to sermon.net. And then once you get there, you're going to see on the top right corner it says studio login. You're going to click on that and you're going to see that it might be blank and it might be autofilled. If it's blank, just click on it and do mpain 1589, click on that, then click login. That'll bring you here. And then you want to just scroll down a little bit and you want to click on stream from browser. That'll bring you here. And then I don't have a device connected, but if it was connected, which it will be at the church, it will already show the image from the camera looking at the front of the worship and preaching area. So you'll just be able to have that there. And then there'll be another section that says go live. You hit that, and I'll show you more details on Friday. So once you go live, then you can just minimize that screen and open up Audacity. Audacity is the program we use to record the sermons. So what we'll do is let's you don't start off until the sermon is ready to go. Some people will hit record when there's a person praying for the sermon, and some people will hit record right when the sermon starts. I think it's good practice to hit record right when someone's praying and for the sermon, and then you can stop recording right after the person finishes praying for the sermon at the end of it. So the person starts praying for the sermon, so you hit record, and that's going to start recording everything. And once the sermon is over and the person has finished praying, then you can hit pause, and that's going to pause it. Now, this is a very important step to follow after this. So you want to go to File, and you want to go to Export, and you want to go to Export as MP3. And that's going to open up this screen. And then for this purpose, we're going to say test, because we don't have a sermon title for it, because it's just a test. So then we do that and we save. And the artist name, let's pretend that it was Gary who was preaching. So we can write Gary George. And then I usually just write the year, 2023. And I don't really do much more than that. If you want to put album title, you can, which is the sermon. So you can just put test for this. And I mean, I wouldn't go crazy on this. It's not that critical. And then you hit OK. And then it'll save to the desktop. And then you can close this. This is no longer needed. So you just hit X. It's going to tell you to save project before closing. Don't freak out. The project's already saved. It's right here. So just hit no, and that'll all go away. Then you'll come back to here, and you'll end the live stream. Once the sermon is over, you can end it, and then go to home. That's going to bring you to this. And then you're going to want to upload the sermon that was just recorded. So you go to episode manager, and then you go to add new episode. And for this episode, or sermon title, it's called test. Create new episode. That's going to bring you to this screen. And this is important. Few important steps after this. So I don't usually put descriptions in here. You can, but I typically don't do that. So then you go to categories, and the speaker is Gary. So you just do that. You can either type it in or you can find it. And let's say that Gary was preaching from Genesis, and he was preaching from chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 20. And that's still in chapter 1, so you would do that. So it would be chapter 1, verses 1 to verses 20, still in chapter 1. And then let's say he had another verse reference as well. Typically he doesn't, or typically preachers just preach from 1. But if they have more than 1 and it's relevant to the sermon, you can add it. And let's say he preached out of 1 Samuel, and let's say he had 2 chapters of reference in 1 Samuel. So you can do chapter 1. Let's say it was in verse 20, starting in verse 20, and it went to chapter 2 and ended in verse 6. That's how you would do that. So chapter 1 to from verses 20 to chapter 2, verse 6. And then once that's all set, then you can hit save updates. And then you're going to want to go to playlists. Now, the unique and interesting thing, which I still haven't been able to figure out, is when you go to playlists, it always has these 3 checked, and never women's ministry. And what happens is, if all 3 of these are checked, it's going to put that particular sermon into all 3 of these categories: conferences, Sovereign Grace Chapel Sunday School, and Sovereign Grace Chapel. And you don't want it to be in all 3. You only want it to be in Sovereign Grace Chapel. And then once that's all set, once you click that, then you can go to media upload, and then upload media, add file, find your file on the desktop. This one's called test. Click on that, click open, and then you want to go start publish. Now it loaded real quick because it was a very short file. So then you hit OK. And then you'll see all that. And then what I always do is then I go to episode archive to see that it's there. And here it is, test. There's 2 here for some reason. So, I did one earlier. So, and then you see it there, you know it's all set, and you're good to go. I'm going to delete these because we don't need them. And you'll see all the ones as well from here. Populating. And we have a lot. So once that's all set, then you can exit out of that. And that's pretty much, that's it. And then you're good to go. So hopefully that is helpful, and you'll be able to get a better understanding of how to do those steps. And we'll go over in more detail on Friday as well.